This video is all about how we do the cope ahead skill. We begin the cope ahead skill by just describing the situation that we're trying to cope with. Now this might mean checking the facts. I highly recommend going back to use check the facts if you're not entirely sure of what the facts are in the situation. But otherwise you can just use the skills from the very first week of observe and describe to just lay out what the situation is. And then you do some brainstorming and problem solving. What do I want out of the situation? How can I work with this situation? How can I deal with the situation? And then you do a little bit of time travel, but it's a bit more intentional than the kind of catastrophizing or ruminating that you might otherwise do. This is about imagining yourself in the first person, in the present tense, going into the situation, and doing the skills that you've decided are effective in this situation. Coping well with it, coping as well as is possible in this situation that you're in. And this can include sort of superhuman type skills, like pretending that you have the power of flight and that you would fly out of an emergency, or pretending that you have invulnerability. So you can do some imaginal coping too. But it's usually very effective to do some real world stuff too. So what could you actually do if the catastrophe really happened? And how could you use the skills that you've already learned to cope with that? How can you use them to cope with your emotions? How can you use them to cope with interpersonal situations? How can you use them in the first person, in the present tense, to deal with the distress? And after you've done your cope ahead practice in the first person, in the present tense, seeing yourself doing all of the skills, you practice a relaxation exercise. So lots of people at the practice relaxation after point want to do a paired muscle relaxation, or perhaps some paced breathing, or perhaps a mindfulness exercise that you've already found in the past is effective for you. But it's a way of reminding your body that you're calm and that you're safe in this moment.